The OvN Lost World mod is out, and I helped work on it. That's me, right there. The mod fleshes out the Immortal Empires map by adding new settlement models to places as significant in the lore as Lothern, to places as forgotten and lore absent as the Golden Colossus. And look at this golden gecko statue. It's awesome. I love it. It also adds loads of little unmarked campaign features to the map that really give the world life, like adding, actual Kolkans to the Kolkan Plains. While the mod mostly makes visual changes, it does make the slight gameplay change of adding a little bit more minor faction and minor settlement ownership variety across much of the map, such as adding a Dark Elf outpost in the Mountains of Morn. If you don't like this change, you can actually just turn it off in the mod configuration tool. The part that I contributed to was the addition of flavor text to around 90% of settlements on the campaign map, which is actually pretty crazy now that the words exit my mouth. But nonetheless, where possible, the lore is drawn directly from the actual books and other what-have-you sources in the Warhammer Fantasy setting. Though seeing as how some parts of the Warhammer Fantasy world are sadly underloved by Games Workshop, such as Cathay or Nagaroth, a lot of lore also had to be, well, newly made. And I and the other people writing for this mod generally strived to make the new lore being written fit into the Warhammer Fantasy world as closely to the original writing as possible. All of these elements come together to make the Immortal Empires campaign map really just feel that much more full of life and fleshed out and just more, well, I hate to use the word immersive because it's overused by many modding communities, but immersive. Each of the Elector County capitals in the Empire now has their own unique model, from Altdorf to the industrial city of Nuln. Look at the furnaces churning. Elspeth's Tower there with its purple fire from the Wind of Death. We've got old partly ruined Fyldorf. We've got Averheim with a big pile of orc skulls. And we've even got, old Middenheim up here. Middenheim, which looks, gorgeous. When you've even got a unique model for Hergig, that means that the guys who worked on the settlement models, they really just did incredible stuff here. And there's just so much dedication to making the Warhammer world. Look, Talabheim's actually in a crater now. Unthinkable. There's just so much dedication to making the Warhammer world really come to life here. And not just be a fun strategy game, but also a stunningly detailed depiction of an entire fictional world. And for the parts of the world that have less lore, or just more ambiguous, like the Chaos Wastes, the settlement model makers made such gorgeous stuff like the Forest of Decay, which, it's horrible and disgusting, as all Nurgle things should be. And it's just amazing. Look at it. It's a big tree that is vomiting on the city. Seeing Albion go from this generic Chaos Island to genuinely being the weird sort of Stone Age, Bronze Age Celts that are still chaotic, certainly, but, and that little bit, that making Conquata look like this weird Celtic lizardman mix, it tickles me as a lore guy, and it's not even the craziest one just for sheer scale. Just look at how gorgeous Araby is. It's no longer just some forgotten corner of Nehekara with Tomb Kings, just statues and sphinxes around. It now looks properly like like Araby should look. With the golden age of Islam appearance here and the oasis and the rivers winding through the desert. It's just, oh yeah, that's like, this is the appearance that I'll say for myself I pretty well dreamed about Araby looking like in Warhammer 2. And if you have Mixu and Lost to Insanity's Noblar Hordes mod, the new models for the Scrap Towers, for Pig Barter, and for the Flayed Rock, the Flayed Rock model is disgusting, look at it. Yeah, that's a Flayed Rock, alright. But having these around just adds to the Noblar experience so much, as it makes the Noblar country region actually feel like the kind of odd, small-scale, sloppy, scrappy feel that the Noblars really should have, instead of just generic-looking ogre settlements. The amount of new models and little additions to the campaign map is staggering, and really just gives each corner of the world its own real feeling and theme to it. I can't stress enough just how much it makes the Immortal Empires map feel lived in. And I just had a ton of fun working on the mod, helping to write these descriptions. I mean, I have no modding expertise or acumen whatsoever, but the ability to contribute these settlement descriptions here, especially for Grand Cathay, which I've been so tremendously curious about these forgotten corners of the warmer world for so long, it was a delight to work on this. Words fail me. Words fail me. I am honored to be a part of this mod, and it is a great, great work. Words still fail me. I've been lucky enough to, having worked on this mod, I've been looking at it and having it run for a couple months now. And it has been something special where I knew that once it went to the public, that this should be the sort of mod that everybody has downloaded. And I'm not just saying that to tout my own work, because the settlement descriptions, I'm really happy to have worked on them. At the same time, I think it's fair if people don't want these, especially because some of them are just, we had to make them ourselves. Fan fiction, more or less. But everything else, like, just look at, like, here, Nongchang is now a vampiric Cathay settlement model mixed. Like, that's just so much fun for giving the central provinces their own identity. Or look here at the new model for Wei Jin. Like, Wei Jin already was one of the coolest looking settlements on the map, even though it was a generic Cathay settlement down here and then just had the floating Palace of Heaven above it. But now with all this, it's amazing. And just really, it complements the game to such a tremendous degree. And while I know I'm biased because I helped work on it, albeit a very technically unimpressive fashion, but nonetheless I helped work on it, so I am biased, but I just gotta recommend it plenty. And I will have the link to the mod in the description, though I imagine that for today and for probably a good while afterwards, it's going to be on the front page of the Steam Workshop. And for good reason, because everybody who put in the work on making the campaign map this much more fleshed out deserves the praise they're going to get, because it is incredible stuff. And for anyone who is a longtime viewer and was really excited to see this channel now with the Total War focus bring in more videos, I hope that this mod can somewhat function as a at least somewhat decent explanation for why I have not been putting up that quantity of videos you're probably hoping for since the channel started. But nonetheless, I think this still fits into the purview. And yeah, I'm just exuberant to have worked on this, and here I am shilling for it. Go download it. I'll see you folks later.